Wow. Wow. Holy shit. 31,000. Up, boys. Holy shit, that's a lot. Dear Blizzard Entertainment, gameplay first. Those are your words. Your founding words. And you have abandoned them. I am a grumpy 41-year-old male. I'm cynical and skeptical. I work in marketing and I hate that business. It's full of bollocks and bullshit. At the core of that is the ridiculous idea that customers want to engage with companies and have conversations and relationships and other such nonsense. I don't care. A thing for the companies whose products I buy. I don't want a relationship with Coke. I don't want to visit fan forums for Tide. And I will never pay any amount of money to watch or attend a Levi's convention. I just want good products at reasonable prices. True. Very fucking true. Nobody gives a fuck. Like, all these companies that are like, they think that making clever fucking remarks on social media is gonna get them to, get people to like buy their stuff. Nobody gives a fuck. I'm not a fan of corporations the way that I'm a fan of the Denver Broncos. I don't yell at the TV whenever I see a stupid McDonald's commercial like I do whenever Case Newman throws another interception. I'm not emotionally invested in Nike or Google. I don't want whoever runs those companies to be fired when things go poorly, the same way I think Vance Joseph should be fired from the Broncos. We've got an agenda Andy here, okay? I have a pretty good feeling this guy's not happy with the current state of the Denver Broncos. Not happy at all. And why is that? Because I'm emotionally attached to the Broncos. I love that team. I cried whenever they won Super Bowl 50. It's irrational, I know. The win-loss record of a sports team has no effect on my personal life, and yet I cheer and jeer. Thankfully, I don't invest myself into commodity corporations the same way. Except that I do. For more than 20 years, Blizzard, you have made games that I love to play. Even the games I was terrible at, I still played. I know that feeling. I'm terrible at all of them. I knew that they'd be the best that the genre had to offer. I wasn't any good at the StarCraft games, but I played them anyway. I can only just scrape through the story campaigns in the Warcraft series, but I played it anyway. I love Diablo, but I never played in hardcore mode or pushed high-tier rifts. Why did I play those games? Because they were fun. I also made some good friends along the way. Friends that I still play Blizzard games with. But I didn't truly love Blizzard until 2004, when I stepped foot into Dunmorrow. I'll never forget trapezing through the snow and climbing the hill to see Ironforge for the first time. I love World of Warcraft and you, Blizzard, ever since. A canvas poster of the original World of Warcraft box hangs on my wall. A little figure of Arthas guards my desk. In my closet, Blizzard-branded t-shirts hang next to my Broncos gear. I'm not just a guy who buys Blizzard's products like I buy other stuff. I'm a Blizzard fan. I pay to watch BlizzCon. I root for the company to succeed like I do with the Broncos. But now, when I see that poster or wear one of my Blizzard shirts, I feel a bit like I do whenever I watch a Broncos game. I'm cheering for a team that used to be great, but just isn't anymore. I keep watching though, because that's what loyal fans do. And I keep hoping for better days. In the Blizzard retrospective documentary published in 2011, Mark Davidson said, "It wasn't hard to let Blizzard do its thing, as long as it was working. Blizzard, the things you are doing now are not working." Maybe you know this. Maybe it's causing internal power struggles at the office. And maybe you are too deep in to see that you are no longer the company that presided itself on gameplay first. The only reason Blizzard gamers exist at all is because of great gameplay. But great gameplay is hard. It takes years of testing and iteration to get it right. It's expensive. You were always known for taking your sweet development time. Soon, we were told. It'll be done soon. And we knew that you were creating something beautiful and amazing that was, despite any flaws that may exist, going to be fun. Soon was almost always worth the wait. But you don't make those kinds of games anymore. And I wonder if you ever will again. Do you know why I logged into World of Warcraft day after day for those first few years? It wasn't because of the 15-minute corpse runs that were fun. It wasn't so I could wait for the warlock to farm soul shards or the hunter to travel all the way back to the village to buy arrows before we could finally spend the next 5 hours being lost in Dire Maul. It wasn't to craft copper bars or gather rune clots so I could buy a cross-racial mount. Though I did all of those things, and many, many more. It wasn't logging on to earn or buy loot boxes. I didn't finish a dungeon and hope that whatever the final boss dropped would not only be the thing I wanted, but also a Titan Forge into a super-powered version of the thing that I wanted. I didn't log on so I could fill a bar, although there are plenty of bars to fill. I didn't play so I could gather some random source of power that would inevitably fade into irrelevance as soon as some goblin miner discovered a new random source of power. I didn't show up to race through dungeons or replace pieces of gear every other day with gear that was marginally better or worse than what I was wearing. In fact, I think I wore the same robe for 2 years during Classic WoW. I only replaced it after Burning Crusade released. My mom did the same thing. It was called the Feather Moon Headdress. I remember it. And she does too. I didn't log on so I could tab out to third-party websites because they were the only way I could find out that I had the right talents, right gear, and simulate numbers with the right gear that I did have. I didn't pay $15 a month to earn a score from a third-party website so I could participate in the game with other people who valued my random score over my experience playing the game. I think this is a little bit of a weak point because the random score is derived from your experience playing the game, but okay. I played World of Warcraft because just being an Azeroth with a few friends was good enough. I wasn't worried about leveling up quickly so I could play the real game like people are today. If I set out to do some quests but got distracted by PvP or a dungeon, corpse runs, or exploring a zone that was full of monsters just a bit too powerful for my level, more corpse runs, that was alright. Because exploring Azeroth, an enormous world full of amazing creatures and hidden things, was a lot of fun. You're deluding yourself if you think that classic World of Warcraft will bring that all back. It won't. It can't. That experience can't be replicated any more than returning to Disneyland as an adult can recreate the first time I visited whenever I was 10 years old. Those days and those games are gone. The game that we play today is not a game at all. Instead, World of Warcraft is a data-gathering index of daily user actions and patterns. It's a research tool to help scummy marketing people decide what to put on sale. Go big. How much to charge for a Fox mount, or which adverts to fill the game launcher with. You no longer see me as a player, but instead as a payer. Jesus Christ. This is a lot. New features in WoW are gated behind reputation bars, time, or just not in the game at all yet. Zandalari trolls were among the first features of Battle for Azeroth that were introduced to us. Zandalari trolls aren't even in the game, but they will be soon. They tried to hide that exclusion behind storytelling, but it's a thin mask. Patch 8.1 launched on December 11th. The Battle for Dazar Allure, a cumbersome name, won't launch until January 22nd. Conveniently, just a little more than 30 days after someone who might have re-upped for 8.1 started paying for your game again. Arguably, there is more stuff to do in WoW than ever before, and yet I don't log on as often as I used to. And worse yet, I don't look forward to playing like I used to. Mostly I log on to see if any of my friends are playing, and if maybe, just maybe, we can get a few of us together to go earn a loot box or race through a dungeon and pretend that we're having fun again. You stopped making an MMORPG years ago. Instead, you turned WoW into an elaborate fantasy-themed casino replicator. It's a third-person looter-shooter designed to string players out like drug addicts looking for a fix. Your other titles are just animated shopping carts that feature mini-games people can play between opening loot boxes. And that's really sad, because all Blizzard's games were beautiful. Your artists are still the best in the industry. It's a shame that their work is being ruined by shady business practices and shoddy gameplay design. Why is Ian Azacostas still the World of Warcraft game director? He bumbles through Q&As saying words but nothing else. Under his and J. Allen Brack's direction, the game has become progressively worse. Ian's sidekick Josh Lore Allen, the man you hired to be the public face of World of Warcraft, called us dick bags, and is far more interested in building his personal brand than he is with doing the job that you pay him to do. I don't want to personally comment on that. I feel like that would be just reading what he's saying. I can't tell if these men are being held hostage by a company that has broken their spirits, or if they are burned out, or if they have the true contempt for both WoW and its players. Are the creative, passionate people that you are so well known for allowed to work on the design direction of World of Warcraft? Or is the game being designed by algorithms and data-driven stat padding horse shit? People can't tell if something is fun. Computers can't. We are not your enemy, Blizzard. We are your loyal supporters. The lukewarm fair-weather fans are gone, and they are not coming back. We are all you have left. And frankly, whenever it comes to MMORPGs, you are all that we have. Please stop ruining World of Warcraft. Please stop designing it around KPIs, MAUs, and other marketing bullshit. I'll play the game if it's fun, and right now, it's not fun. People designing and developing the game look tired. Maybe it's time for them to move to other unannounced products, or maybe it's just time to let them remember what gameplay first means. I don't know what's happening at Blizzard. I don't know if Activision is flexing its management muscles. I don't know why Mike Morhaime left, and I don't know why company morale is so low. I don't know why you think it's a good idea to put talented developers to work on mobile products games that your audience doesn't bother playing because we're middle-aged adults who, just like your founders, were raised on PC games. I don't know anything about the inner workings of this company that I have supported for almost half my life. But I do know Blizzard games, and I know that whatever it is that you're producing recently are not Blizzard games. I hope that whatever it is that's wrong with you, Blizzard, can be fixed soon. And fixed soon. For Azeroth, Whitecap the Patient, from Illidan, US. This post here makes the most sense that I've seen in a long, long time. This is what we've been waiting for. He still plays the game? Wouldn't you? Played the game for 15 years? You're not just gonna quit. Dear OP, this sums up what's happening to Blizzard. What is this?
Like with John's.
Yeah, there it is. I remember we watched that before. It's true, it's so obvious now that Blizzard devs sit down and say out loud at meetings, what can we invent that will make sure people keep logging in? I think that's it. Play it? Alright, I'll play it.
Scully. John came from PepsiCo, and they at most would change their product, you know, once every 10 years. I mean, to them, a new product was like a new size bottle, right? So if you were a...
Then they introduced Pepsi Zero, and it tasted like shit. They introduced Pepsi Max. Nobody gave a fuck. They introduced vanilla Pepsi. Just make Pepsi. Like, I mean, you know what I mean? Where's the... Speaking of Pepsi, where's my fucking Pepsis? They're downstairs. Shit! Okay, I'm gonna have to just drink a soda. It's fine, doesn't matter. Listen to this guy, okay? Steve Jobs, for being the colossal dickbag that he was, huge asshole, etc. He's a smart fucking guy. He's a really fucking smart guy. So I'm not gonna say anything. Just listen to this fucking clip. He's
like
a
with
fucking
John
genius.
Scully. John came from PepsiCo, and they at most would change their product, once every 10 years. I mean, to them, a new product was like a new size bottle, right? So if you were a product person, you couldn't change the course of that company very much. So who influenced the success of PepsiCo? The sales and marketing people. Therefore, they were the ones that got promoted, and therefore they were the ones that ran the company. Well, for PepsiCo, that might have been okay, but it turns out the same thing can happen in technology companies that get monopolies, like, IBM and Xerox. If you were a product person at IBM or Xerox, so you make a better copy or a better computer. So what? When you have a monopoly market share, the company's not any more successful. So the people that can make the company more successful are sales and marketing people. And they end up running the companies. And the product people get driven out of the decision-making forums. And the companies forget what it means to make great products. Sort of the product sensibility and the product genius that brought them to that monopolistic position gets rotted out by people running these companies who have no conception of a good product versus a bad product. They have no conception of the craftsmanship that's required to take a good idea and turn it into a good product. And they really have no feeling in their hearts, usually, about wanting to really help the customers. So that's what happened at Xerox. The people at Xerox PARC used to call the people that ran Xerox toner heads.
Jeff Kaplan got hired by Blizzard because he hated EverQuest. He hated EverQuest so much, he made posts on the EverQuest forums telling the developers that they were fucking stupid, they were idiots, they had no idea what they were doing. Blizzard saw that, and they hired him. His name was Tiggle Biddies. Nobody would have hired him this day. They would have called him a sexist and blocked him from the forums and banned him. Jeff Kaplan went on to developing World of Warcraft. He eventually left WoW. And at this point, I believe he's the game director for Overwatch. Overwatch, for all its faults and failures, is probably, by far, the most successful game in its genre. A lot of people play Overwatch. Overwatch, overall, I would say is a good game. I know it's very popular to dislike Overwatch because of what they did with XQC. I get that. That was a mistake, I agree. It's still a great game. It's literally a dead game. It's not a dead game, dude. Like, the thousands, like, millions of people play Overwatch. Like, I understand, like, everyone wants to pretend like it's bad, but, like, it's actually a good game. Like, well, Blizzard, here's what happened. Is Blizzard took their contemporary new ideals and they employed them in an industry that was pre-existing. The MOBA industry. For one, I think that making a game, a MOBA at that point, was a mistake for Blizzard. I think they shouldn't have done that. But on top of that, they didn't create heroes to be the good types of games that WoW was and that Diablo was. For example, Diablo came out, that was the ARPG, period. Everybody played Diablo. If you wanted to play an ARPG, you played Diablo. You didn't play anything else besides that. That's what you fucking did. Diablo 3 came out, you played it, but you're like, God fucking damn it, I got hit by an invisible fucking wasp again through the wall in Act 2. He didn't do any fucking beta testing for the other acts except for Act 1, and everything was fucking broken, and then I get to Inferno and I get killed in 3 hits. Yeah. Then, Path of Exile came out and everybody moved over to that. They made WoW. People don't play MMORPGs anymore. People play WoW. That's it. Who the fuck plays Team Fortress 2? No one. Everybody plays Overwatch now.